This is the Bush Whisperer coming to you from the beautiful heart of the Penguin Sanctuary, Cape Agulhas, Boulders Beach, Cape Town. Come to talk to you today about patience. What is patience? Patience is more important than anything that I can tell you about, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's the key to so much, and I'll explain. You hear about meditation and you hear what's the importance of meditation, why people meditate, what is the true benefits. There are so many benefits from meditation, but the true key to the meditation process and the true power cultivated is patience. Patience is the essence of meditation. The ability to wait is the key to overcoming all things of mass. I want you to think about that for a moment. The word wait and the word mass, there's no accidental correlation there. There are no accidents. There's no maybe there's a connection. There's an obvious connection, and I'll explain this to you. It is only when patience is really uncovered within one's being that the true powers of the will are liberated. For there is a secret connection between the ability to wait and the powers of the will. And the powers of the will can overcome all things when one liberates one's will totally. And so the word patience needs to be considered very carefully. Where does it come from? Well, you can see words that have derived in Latin from ancient Greek. Patri from the father. Huh? You go to India, you go to the Sanskrit language. Pati, father. So think of patience as the power of the father, the power of the masculine. And the power of the masculine is the ability to wait. You see the picture of Shiva, self-sacrifice. His ability of self-sacrifice comes from the ability to wait. To be able to bear the weight of Mahakali dancing on his form. See, once again, the word wait and the word wait connected. And we see the story reflecting in Vedic myths of Ganesha racing with his brother, being told they have to race around the whole world. And his brother on the peacock thinking, I'm going to win. And Ganesha on his rat, having the patience that brings the wisdom and the understanding of the sage, which is why Ganesha is considered to be the sage of heaven, the writing implement of his tusk having been removed for him to become the scribe, sort of like Tehuti or Thoth of the ancient Egyptians, realized that the entire universe is his mother, Parvati. And so on his little rat, all he had to do was circle Parvati, and he had circled his whole world. And he won the boon from Shiva that day. And his brother, after circling the world with great effort, realized he had lost the race because of his lack of wisdom. So wisdom and patience are connected. They're fundamentally connected. So patience and wisdom are the essence of how the will is manifested, because the will manifests itself through the act of patience. And so we can consider patience as being so much more than what it seems to be. For example, when practicing meditation, the liberation of the will is what brings all the siddhi. And the liberation of the siddhi is the act of the ability of overcoming the mass of consciousness, the mass of the world. And the ability to wait is the ability to balance all things. And it's the wisdom of the soul being manifested. And it doesn't manifest quickly, it manifests slowly. Sort of like when one's on a journey on a train towards the most beautiful destination one can consider, a place like, say, the Penguin Sanctuary, Boulders Beach. There would be a lot of beautiful sights along the way. And the observation of the beauty of the journey is the act of waiting, the act of patience. So patience becomes the key to meditation. For it is when one is enjoying the act of waiting, when one is totally absorbed in the patience, that one finds the liberation starts to become evident. One starts to experience the other realities. One starts to experience the powers within oneself. One starts to notice the way things are put together. Because when it is that one is waiting, one starts to become aware. There is this fundamental connection with the ability to wait and the ability to be aware. And it is only patience that liberates true awareness. And the liberation of this awareness is what focuses the perception to such a sharp point, a laser, that it can uncover all things, like the laser from the Shiva eye, as it's described in the Vedas. This is the power of patience. It's the power of the Father, Patri, and it's the ability to be able to outweigh all phenomenon. So when you're practicing meditation, realize that how long you meditate for is the key to developing patience. This is why the sages always used to meditate for many, many hours. Meditating for 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day would give you a certain amount of peace and would help you to get a regulation of your breath and your heart, which is good for physiology, which is good for your emotional body. But if you're looking for the mystical revelations, that comes from long, austere hours of waiting. And when you're practicing meditation, try and focus on the act of waiting. It's probably the most profound form of meditation that there is, because it's the meditation of time. It's that mastery over the Lord of Time's domain that brings patience. When one is not bound by time, trapped within the syllables of time, one is able to transcend time. And then all the powers of time, which are space as well, start to become liberated, and one's will is able to operate freely. And this is the act of patience, liberating the will, liberating oneself from all things related to time, and all things that we can consider are essentially manifestations of time. So there's something to think about, to consider when practicing meditation and when contemplating patience and what it is and how important it is for our development spiritually, psychically, and as human beings. This is the Bush Whisperer coming to you from the beautiful Penguin Sanctuary. Keep it real, keep it sweet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.